All right, back on the Chad Hasty Show, News Talk 790 KFYO, broadcasting live from the state capitol here in Austin. Joining me right now to talk about the latest going on the Senate side of things, Texas State Senator Charles Perry. Welcome back.
Good morning.
How are
Good to
you?
be here. I'm good. Good. Feeling a little better. That allergies and flu and bronchitis and everything else the last 2 weeks, but back to the land of living today.
There are allergy problems in Austin.
Yeah, I tell you, that cedar down here is pretty ruthless.
Yeah, I feel it too when I'm down here. So I understand where you're coming from last week when you were coughing and everything else. Well, things are really getting going on the Senate side of things, especially with some of your legislation.
Right. Well, yeah, we're starting to have a pretty full intent calendar, which means we can start hearing bills on the floor of the Senate within 24-hour layout of the intent. So I think I'm laying out one today. I think I may have possibly two up on Wednesday, and it just begins to roll. You know, we finally had our committees meet long enough that things are getting passed out of committee, and we're trying to get them over to the House so that we don't have this bottleneck right there the last 2 days of session and get some good stuff killed just due to lack of time.
Tell our audience about a bill that you filed that there's been a lot of debate over about housing and vouchers.
Yeah.
and how that would play. As I understand it right now, this is a big issue in Austin, but an issue that could spread beyond Austin.
Yeah, absolutely. The only city currently in the state was Austin, but they proposed an ordinance that went out and told the private sector business, i.e. property managers and property owners, that they would be subjected to Section 8 or HUD voucher financing. So I don't have a problem with the voucher system. I have a real problem with government stepping in and telling a private business owner who and how they're going to do their business every day. So that's the central issue. It's a property rights issue at its core, and that was passed out of committee. Unbeknownst to me, there was an amendment put on during committee without my presence that put the city of Austin as a bracketed community out of underneath that legislation. So currently, as it is, Austin would be able to do that to an apartment owner. We should be able to get that stripped off the floor because it's one of those slippery slopes. If they're going to tell an apartment manager today who and how much they can charge for the rent through a federal program, they had no negotiation ability in that process. Are they going to tell car dealers tomorrow that they need to sell 20% of their volume to a certain group of people? So it's just a slope we don't need to go down.
What have you heard from mayors in your district, in your area, that say, okay, and have you heard this from them who say, hey, you guys are getting a little too much into our business, back off a little bit? Or are some of the mayors welcoming and some of the city council members welcoming the state coming in and really corralling the out of control ordinances?
There seems to be a theme across the state, ordinances coming in, but the good thing about Senate District 28, they have good common sense people that understand their jurisdiction. This is not a local control issue because they're subjecting a third party or a private business owner to a contract that they didn't develop. In other words, there is no control by the local municipality over the federal HUD program. They have just said by ordinance you will do business with the federal government. So, local control goes out the window pretty fast if you didn't have the ability to go down and argue your position and have ordinances and have the discussion that you have on a representative form of government. When one municipality or a government arm comes in and tells you as a business owner you'll do business with the feds under this program, they're not under any control of that program. They didn't set it, so it's not a valid argument.
Can you hang out with us
Sure.
for one more segment? We'll go ahead and we'll take the break. When we come back, we'll continue our conversation with State Senator Charles Perry here on the Chad Hasty Show.